I wanted you to write 2 equations, one for Indiana Jones and one for the soldiers. And I wanted you to define your variables based on the information that we underlined in the problem, the important information. Okay, so with that being said, I would like for, let me erase this part here now that we can actually use the screen. Okay, I would like for Reagan and Abby Pittman to share your 2 equations that you wrote. Okay. Okay. All right, and what were your x and y variables? X was feet per second. Okay. So, okay. And then your y value is what? So, feet away from what? Okay. So, distance from dock? Sure. All right. So, classmates, what do y'all agree with in Abby and Reagan's equations? Because I don't think anybody has these exact 2 same equations, correct?
I mean, for Indiana Jones, I put 2x equals y equals 2x plus 200.
Okay, so so you have one of the exact same equations and one of the not.
Yeah.
Okay. So what those of you who have something similar, what is the thing similar in your equation and Abby and Reagan's equation? Eva? Okay, so everybody can agree on the 2x and the 3x. Okay. What about the distances though? The negative 200 and the negative 50. Okay. How much you're going by. Okay, what is the 2x measured in? What is the 2x measured in? Feet per second. So we're measuring a distance traveled over a certain amount of time, right? Okay. And why do you think it's negative 200? Why is it not positive 200? Okay. Are you starting away, like behind the dock, like away from the dock? Or are you starting ahead of the dock and getting further away from it? Behind the dock, and you are trying to get closer to the dock, right? Okay, so did you see why I wanted you to draw a picture? Okay, so I'm going to draw a picture too. And I'm a really, really good artist, so be jealous. Okay, so here's my picture. Or not. No, not the chickens. Okay, so let's draw a picture. Okay, stop looking at the chicken. Okay, so here's my dock. And then here's some feet. How many feet is Indiana Jones from the dock? 200. Okay, so here's his boat. I know it's not a motorboat, it's a sailboat, but just go with it. Okay, and then how far are the soldiers away from Indiana Jones? 50 feet. So I'm going to try and draw it to scale, meaning I want the distances to kind of look like this is longer of a distance than this one. Okay, here's the soldiers, and they're 50 feet away. Okay, how fast is Indiana Jones's boat traveling? 2 feet per second. And then the soldiers are traveling 3 feet per second. Okay, so here's our picture. Do you think that the first equation that Abby and Reagan wrote, do you think that that first equation matches the picture? Are they does this tell you that they're 200 feet away from the point they're trying to get to? Yes? I didn't say to erase anything. Maybe I want you to keep it. Okay? And then does this tell you that they're moving closer to the dock 2 feet per second? Yes? Okay, I'm going to put a check mark next to that one. Okay, what does this one tell you? They're moving 3 feet per second towards the dock. And what does this tell you? They're 50 feet away from Indiana Jones. What did you tell me that this 200 feet was? 200 feet from the dock. So what would this negative 50 feet tell you? They're 50 feet away from the dock. So where would the soldiers actually be in our picture? If this was our, they would be, it would be further up. So they'd be right here. No, I'm telling you, I'm asking you according to this equation. Would this equation match this now blue boat? Yes? So does this equation match our actual picture, our true picture? No, so what do we need to change about this picture, or this equation, excuse me? It needs to be negative 250? Yes? Okay, so this needs to be changed to what? 250. Now, do these two equations match, Brandy? Do these two equations match our picture? Yes? Yes. Someone explain, one person, raise your hand and explain to Daniel, why did we X out the 50 here and replace it with the 250? Someone raise your hand and tell me, explain to Daniel. Chase? They're 250 feet away from the dock. And they're not 50 feet away from the dock. What did we also define our Y variable to represent? Distance from the dock. It doesn't say distance from each other. It doesn't say distance from Indiana Jones's boat. It doesn't say distance from something else. Now, if we changed our Y variable, do you think that would change our equation? Wait, I need someone to answer my question. Before we answer Eva's question, because that's a good question, and Emma's question. Okay, if we changed the Y variable to say distance from Indiana Jones's boat, would this change our equation? Yes. What would it change? Would it change the speed? It would change the distance, right? This would be, how far is Indiana Jones from his own boat? 0. And how far would he be from where the soldiers be? 50. Would it accomplish the same thing, though? If it was 200 negative 250? Yeah, it would accomplish the exact same thing. Okay? Do both of these equations, y equals 2x minus 200 and y equals 3x minus 250, do those represent our picture drawn below with the red boat? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to circle these in this color. These are our equations. If you did not have these equations written down, I don't want you to erase your equations. I want you to cross through them and rewrite the new ones. Then just rewrite the new ones. Okay, it's negative. What's your question? What do you mean?
Like, I think they're both, like, 200 is the distance from the dock, and so is Y.
Yes. I want you to think about, yes, they can. Because I want you're bringing up a good, do you think that we need to change the X value? No? Because we already have 2, and what is 2? The feet per second. So is it going to be feet per second times feet per second minus 200? What is that X value actually going to represent? The second. So what do we need to change our x value to? Time in seconds, not feet per second. Feet per second is the what? Is the 2, or, no, don't do it, or the 3, right? Okay, so what does our x value actually represent?
The time in seconds.
Time in seconds. Okay, you need to change that. Okay, because we already have our feet per second right here. So we're going to do our feet per second times the number of seconds they're traveling minus the distance from the dock at the start. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to do... We don't have time for chickens. Rats.